I'm Joyce Hornady. You might say accuracy is my business. I make bullets.
You are listening to the Hornady Podcast.
Thanks for joining us and enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the Hornady Podcast. I'm your host, Seth Swerczek. Today, I've got Preston Lentfer across the table. We've got another Hornady rifle build. Preston, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Good, beautiful morning.
It's a great morning. All kind of deer moving.
Those sharp turkeys crossing the road on the way in. Whole mess of them.
Yep.
Tom strutting, confused.
Well, you know, it's a weird time of year.
Maybe it was a Jake.
Yeah, trying to show off.
Mm-hmm.
We got a Hornady rifle build, and a lot of these builds, if the astute viewer and listener has heard all of our Hornady rifle builds, they could probably almost guess exactly what this rifle is.
If we blur this out, they'll probably call it. You know, minus the cartridge, they could probably tell you about what it looks like.
Well, we've got some cool new cartridge builds in the works. I don't mean like new cartridges that we haven't released yet. There's some cool builds that we're going to have featured on the show in cartridges that haven't been on the show before. So be on the lookout for those, listener. Also, a good point, Preston, you brought this up before recording. This is going to sound like I'm an insane person, but this is 2026. That's a year. Now, reasonably, if somebody was born today, they could live to see 2100.
Holy cow.
Yeah, let that sink in.
That is wild.
Yep, let her sink in a little bit. But where I was going with that was it is 2026. We're just coming into the new year. We've been doing this podcast way longer than I feel like.
We're into season 5. This will be episode 2 of season 5.
Right. So, listener, viewer, we get questions all the time, and they come in from various places. We want to do a dedicated Q&A episode, and it doesn't have to be anything specific. You know, we've done, hey, we're having Leupold Optics on. Get us some questions for that. We're having Jeff Seward, Stump the Ballistician kind of thing. If you've got questions about the show, about anything that any of our guests have talked about Preston, about me, about Jaden, whoever, drop them in the comments on this episode. And we will come back periodically to this episode to look through comments and just pick out some questions. We'll do a dedicated, broad spectrum Q&A episode and just answer some questions because we've been doing this nearly half a decade, and there's probably some things that some folks have been wondering this whole time.
Maybe.
There's no way to know.
I wouldn't know. There's so many episodes at this point that if you comment on an old episode, I may never see it. So we want all the questions in this basket. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we can't answer them all. If we don't answer your questions, there's probably a reason for it.
Yep.
Either it was silly, or we can't answer it for proprietary reasons, or whatever have you.
Or just hyper condescending, which we get a lot of.
Yeah, well, it's just fine. That helps the algorithm too.
It does, and we get a good laugh.
I heard somebody say a logarithm.
Logarithm. Who said that?
Logarithm. I can't remember.
Miles.
Was it?
Yeah, logarithm. Yep, that's what he said.
Algorithm.
Yeah. Anyways, short story long, we do love the interaction, and we want to do a dedicated Q&A episode that is more open. You know, if there's things you want to know that maybe isn't dedicated to Jaden's range card or ballistics or whatever, let us know. We'll try to answer them.
Something you've been talking about at the coffee shop with the boys.
Yeah.
Let's solve it. We used to get that a lot in tech. We could probably talk about just our tech days.
Oh, boy.
And I don't know if people would enjoy that, but literally there'd be people calling from the coffee shop.
Around the table
with their boys as they're arguing about something.
You got to solve this problem.
You got to help us.
Yeah.
One of us is right, one of us is wrong.
I'd love that. Put me on speakerphone. Let's have a talk. Those were enjoyable. So, yes, please let us know your questions. And with that, outside of, holy cow, I can't believe 2026 is a real year in time that we're in. I don't write a lot of checks, but the first one I do, I guarantee I mess that up. It's fact.
Mess what up?
The year.
Oh, yeah. How often do you write a check, though?
Very seldom.
It's not often that you're writing a date anymore.
No.
Probably chatgpt will do it for you.
Write my checks? I don't trust them.
They'll just do everything for you. It seems like that's what all the kids are doing these days.
Yeah.
I heard, sorry, off subject a little bit. We were talking about AI the other day. One feller's son passed a college course, was a B plus average or something like that. only using ChatGPT to do his work.
Yeah. See, back in our day, I didn't buy a single textbook after my freshman year.
After the freshman year,
I know.
yeah.
And I passed with honors.
Yep, me too.
Yep.
The craziest thing about back then, to me, was Wikipedia not allowed.
Oh,
Don't use it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, absolutely go for it. Everything's sourced, blah, blah, blah. It's free will. Go for it. Back then, couldn't use it.
Yep. It was tough.
And you didn't have ChatGPT to change the words of it for you, so plagiarizing was a problem.
Well, this has obviously devolved a little bit. Let's get back to the Hornady rifle build.
Yeah.
This is a cool build, a fun build, and it's just a fun rifle altogether. Again, almost getting a little pedestrian, you might say,
Maybe.
within our echo chamber. This is when you zoom out, like my dad sees this gun, it's like, dang, that's cool.
Yeah.
We do a lot of these, and I was actually just texting back and forth with a buddy of mine right before recording, and his son had said something about, wow, I really want to build this, that, and the other thing, but I guess I don't really need another gun. Like, yeah, you do. You need just one more.
Just go for it.
Yeah. There's always just one more.
And then when you buy high-end parts, it's like, even if you ever have to sell it for whatever reason,
Yep.
it's not going to devalue a whole lot.
No, so let's jump into this. I don't have a name for it or nothing. We could call it Excalibur.
No. There's only a few rifles in the safe that have names.
Yeah.
This is not one of them, I don't think.
It's not.
This one's cool, though, because of the cartridge, I think.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of fun, and this rifle is built as one of those, I'm calling it a field rifle.
Although lighter than your normal field rifle.
A little bit. It's in the field rifle window. For me, a field rifle in that 10 to 14 pound range, maybe 11 to 14 pound range. This one, 10.7 pounds as you see it with the magazine inserted.
Okay.
Bipod, suppressor, everything on it. That's 10.7. So, is it my backcountry hunting rifle? No. Is it?
Could it be? Yeah, because you're yoked.
Could it be more than what I use it for? Yes. But what this rifle was for is 2026 coyotes. I'm going to use it for a bunch of things outside of the year 2026. But this was built with that short-term view in mind of like, it's time to go shoot some coyotes. What do I want to shoot this year? Obviously, the 22 ARC is fun. 257 Ackley, improved. But this rifle, 22 ARC.
Yep.
And
62 grain VTs at the speed of light.
It's, of course, and it's incredibly versatile. That's one of the reasons I went with the 22 ARC over the 22 Creedmoor. You got the barrel life concern, which I have a 22 Creedmoor and I absolutely love it. This is going to have substantially better barrel life. And when you're buying a carbon fiber barrel, that's a little pricier. I want it to last.
Yeah, okay.
So went with 22 ARC. Pap Winkle on Instagram, good friend of ours. He's a big 22 ARC fan. He shot a lot of it this year. Him and his family, they eat game year round, and they're in the business of putting meat in the freezer. And between black bear and deer, they really wreaked havoc up in Montana with a 22 ARC this season.
I have no doubts that it's entirely capable.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't take it for whatever reason. It's kind of like my coyote cartridge. So, deer, not a problem.
No, I wouldn't even think twice. I'm actually really excited to maybe build my kids' 22 ARC, really short length of pole stock, because the recoil is so low.
Exactly. Like, you can watch everything with it.
Yeah.
Even compared to a 22 Creedmoor, it's pretty dramatic, the amount of recoil reduction. But don't even stop at deer. Tyler Friel.
Oh.
Back before, the initial offerings, got a moose on the ground with his 22
He shot a moose,
ARC.
yep. The 22 FUD, as he would call it.
Yeah.
But,
well, there's more words for that, but we can't say it on air.
Yeah. He, big fan of the 22 ARC up in Alaska as well. And, big shout out to Tyler for, really getting more eyes on this thing as a, a friend in the media space. But the 22 ARC, incredibly versatile. For me and this rifle, we're shooting 60 grain V-match ammo, 62s. Their BC is really substantial for a 62 grain bullet. The G1's like a 395 if you're into BCs, which you compare that to any other 62 grain bullet on the market, not even close. Not even close. So really low drag shape. And out of this particular barrel, they're doing about 3190 feet per second. So, I mean, just a tick south of 3,200. So they're getting to the target.
And this is a shorter barrel.
Yeah, we'll get to the barrel. But, yeah, they're screaming out of there. Is it a little slower than my 22 Creedmoor? Yes. But, man, they're still getting to the target right now. And, man, on coyotes, prairie dogs, fantastic.
And the recoil on this will be laughable.
Yeah, of course. And if I ever wanted to jump up to the 80s, we've got that 70 grain CX if I wanted to, for deer or black bear or something like that. But for right now, it's slinging those 62s, coming in at, like I said, 10.7 pounds. We're suppressed. We'll talk about, all the other accoutrement, but for the most part, I'm shooting this thing off a tripod.
Right.
So the bipod weight, is it on there? Yeah. And I do hunt with one. When I'm going on a coyote stand, I will keep a suppressor, or a bipod
That's
on
a
there.
bipod. It's got 2 legs.
It does,
Attaches to the front of the rifle.
And if you're Phil Vallejo, you'd call it bipods.
Bipods.
So
Who's right? I think we are.
So we always leave the bipod on there. And some of that, if I'm going back to a really familiar stand, like I know I'm not going to use the bipod. However, there are a lot of times where, that looks really good. Let's come back here. We'll ditch the truck on the other side. We'll come up and over, and maybe the prone is the way to go because it's over the crest of a hill or something. And I always love to shoot prone if I can.
It's also really handy, like if you walk to a stand, I'm going to go set the call out 75 yards away. Boom, boom, bipod. Set the bipod.
Yep.
Set the rifle down. Go set up the call. Come back. Clamp her in the tripod.
Right. Yep. So I'm always using a tripod. My go-to tripod of the many is still my Really Right Stuff Ascend 14. That tripod a ton. My kind of utilitarian, take it everywhere, lend it out to people. The Loophole 436.
Mm-hmm.
That one is a nice 32 millimeter leg.
Sub 4 pounds.
Yes, 3.5 pounds. Nice, easy to use ball head. So that one works really well. And we'll get into the attachments and stuff, but still primarily from the tripod when coyote hunting. And some people don't like that.
Yeah.
They don't
Jeff
like
Nimnick, professional coyote hunter.
Yep.
Some people say coyote. Some people say coyote.
Yote.
There's got to be a line
Coyote.
where people say coyote and then people say coyote. I don't know where it is, but
I don't know. Well, we're
either
right in the
way,
middle.
it's acceptable. It's like envelope or envelope.
Yeah. So
Both are acceptable.
The 22 Advanced Rifle Cartridge easily outperforms all other 22 caliber cartridges in its class, producing 22 250 performance in an AR-15 platform. The 22 ARC is engineered to take full advantage of the most aerodynamic 22 caliber bullets. This means tighter groups, increased accuracy, and an exceptional shooting experience. 22 Advanced Rifle Cartridge from Hornady.
I love the tripod. I've been shooting in a tripod for a decade. And so for me, it's very natural. And I could see if it's not very natural, you get in there and you feel all claustrophobic.
Absolutely. Well, and a lot of times the balance point, the pivot point is different. Like if you're used to shooting off a long bipod for years and years and years, all the way out on the front of the rifle, and then you change to a tripod and that pivot point is different, I can see that messing a guy up, but
Yep. Or if you're
inconsequential with a little bit of practice.
Yeah, or if you're calling in quadruples or you're always calling in multiple dogs. I don't have access to ground in time and calling prowess that I'm calling in multiple dogs all the time. So for me, being super dynamic's really not that important.
Well, and that Really Right Stuff is pretty lightweight, so
Oh, it's hyper light.
pick it up. Obviously, there's terrain issues sometimes, but as long as you can get that thing 3 legs on the ground and stable, that head will move enough there. You can get it done.
So
Comment down below. Use a bipod or a tripod when you're coyote hunting. Let us know.
Or a tree.
Or 2 sticks with a bolt between them.
Yeah, your knee.
Whatever. I want to know.
Starting off the build, just like so many of them.
Heart of it.
The heart of the build. The Zermatt, as it were.
Yeah,
origin.
I guess. Well, it's got 2 dots.
Yeah, Zermatt, Switzerland.
Is that an umlaut or I don't know what that is.
Either way, it's the origin. Almost become a generic answer. I've got a couple TL3s Love them. Also love the Origin. This is the helical diamond bolt handle, which has very quickly become my absolute favorite bolt handle.
That's what I have on mine, both of them.
And there's a lot of reasons to go with something that is like an Origin or a TL3 when you're invested. Like that's, I've got friends all over that make a lot of good actions, and I like their actions, and I have a lot of their actions. But the Zermatt's, they all headspace the same, or you can make them headspace the same.
Right.
And so for me, when I have umpteen barrels, it adds a ton of versatility to me to be able to use any barrel really on any action.
I just had a gentleman in my office yesterday. He said 13 barrels. I said, "Yep, never know what I want to do."
Yeah, and you always got room
And they
for
can
just one more.
Screw into my Origins.
Yep. And if I have
your
one,
TL3s.
and if I have one that you need, it's a common currency. So that's why obviously Zermatt is a hometown team, but we've got friends all over the industry that make really good actions. The Aero Precision Solus that we've had on here, that's a great action for the cost, really hard to beat. Our friend down in Oklahoma, Mr. Street Tater, making those impacts. We have, I don't even know the amount of impact actions.
There's a lot
at
in this
Hornady.
building.
It's incredible. The guys down in Stiller, down in Texas, still making outstanding action, especially with the new ownership. Their new stuff like the Wombat, top quality.
There's some Mac Bros running around
Mac
too,
Bros,
up in South Dakota.
Yep, we'll talk about them here later in the show, but big fan of the Mac Bros guys up there. So, again, a lot of good actions. This is just what this one came to be with the helical diamond bolt handle, which is, again, my favorite. And for a trigger, that is your Trigger Tech Field trigger.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, you did. Now, call me crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. So the Trigger Tech, I love a Timney trigger. Got a bunch of those. I love a Trigger Tech trigger. One of the better values, in my opinion, and I'm going to put this out in the airwaves, and I'll probably never get this again. There's a lot of factory rifles that will come with a Timney trigger.
Okay.
Christensen Arms, for example, a few others, where you buy the rifle, comes with the Timney or with a Trigger Tech trigger.
Trigger Tech.
Now those Trigger Techs are called a field trigger. They'll adjust down to 2.5 pounds and up to 5 or 5.5 pounds. Then they're modestly priced to sell to the OEM customer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of people want to swap that baby out for an 8-ounce Timney or a Trigger Tech Diamond or something like that. Well, those field triggers are available as takeoffs.
Sometimes
For, I think the most I've ever paid for one is $80, $75 or $80. So when I'm building a hunting rifle, specifically one that I know is destined to be used primarily in cold weather, I'll save
no problem.
I'll save the scratch, throw in a Trigger Tech Field, set it to 2.5 pounds. Bob's your uncle. Call it a day.
Yeah. And you guys have jabbed at me when I wasn't here to defend myself,
right,
about my answer of the Trigger Tech primary Independence Day.
Special, yep.
However, I can completely understand this, and had I been here to defend myself, I would have understood and supported it.
All right. So,
however, the Independence Day primary is a hell of a deal.
Hell of a deal. Great trigger. And again, there's a lot of good triggers out
there.
There's
a lot of good triggers. It's just weird that we played with some Trigger Techs years ago and have found it hard to go away from them.
Yeah.
But we're open.
Well, I've got a lot of guns, so you'll see on mine
I've got
primarily
Timneys as well.
Timney Calvin Elites, and I've mentioned this on the show. If you ever do get the chance to meet Calvin, he's a great guy, and his last name is not Elite,
Same
like
joke.
I thought it was.
Same joke every time.
It's not a joke. I was dumbfounded.
That's your joke every time.
Yeah. So I got a few Calvin Elites and some triggers that I have been playing with recently. Haven't been on the show yet. They eventually will be. The Rise Armament bolt action triggers. Been real happy with those.
I was really happy with their AR triggers
course.
when they came out a long time ago, really.
Yeah.
Their drop-ins. So I'd be interested to try them out.
Yep.
I've messed with the Geisley. I'm not sure they make it anymore. Some rifle basics. I've heard good things about Bix and Annie. There's all sorts of good triggers out there.
Find what you like. This one for me, for the budget, this one worked wonderfully.
Heck of a budget saver, really.
Jumping up to the barrel, the opposite of a budget saver, Proof Research, carbon fiber. Went with a 20-incher on this 22 arc. Now, if you're building a gas gun in 22 arc, I think you're borderline silly for doing anything other than an 18-inch barrel.
If it's a field rifle.
If it's a gas gun. I think 18 is
if it's a gas field rifle. If it's a competition, sure. Get the 24, get the 26, whatever.
You're building the Coyote Rig, I think 18 is the way to go. But for a bolt gun, I thought 20. Let's just get that extra 40, 50 feet per second, whatever it's going to be, that little extra velocity out of it. It's not that much longer, and it's already a longer system just because of the stock.
Well, and considering the thing that's on the end of it, well, to get there, that makes this thing really attractive.
It does. So,
especially being 20 inches.
20-inch carbon fiber.
Sendero contour.
Yep, Sendero contour. Things attack driver with really everything I've ever shot in it. It shoots the 62s really well. It really shoots the 75s.
I think people need to hear this. Don't sleep on the 75 grain ELD match. That is one of my top 2 favorite 22 caliber bullets of all time.
We'll dive into that here real briefly. Jump down this rabbit hole. So years ago, when I was still working,
I don't think I'm going to fit.
We'll get a shovel. Years ago, when I was still working with Jaden in ballistics, working right down here, and we first started on what we called it the 22 Grark, I think, Grendel arc. When we first started on that project, I forget that we're going back now a bunch of years because I was still working in engineering.
They all kind of run together.
What became the ELD VT, we were playing with that. We called it the ELD V at the time, just internally. We were playing with that. Obviously, there was some pressure to go with the 88 grain bullet in our match load to compete with the Valkyrie. And we wanted a black offering in our black line of ammo. And historically, that black line has been a BTHP option. Well, I had my eyes opened to the glory of the 75 grain ELD match that year prior. I ran the Mammoth Sniper Challenge with one T. Vogue. Travis Vogel, good friend of ours in the industry. He was running secondary. I was running the primary gun. So his secondary gun was a bolt action 223 with 75 grain ELD match bullets doing about 28.75. And just running raw numbers with my 6 arc and a 110 and his 75 ELD matches, it was like, oh my goodness, that you couldn't push any bullet in 22 cal hard enough to outrun that 75, at least within the first, 500-600 yards. The 88 would eventually take over in wind as you got really far, but we weren't worried about shooting 1,000 yards with a 22 cal. We were really worried about that, sub half mile.
The Goldilocks,
arena.
And
the 75 was just perfect. So when we were developing the loads, I brought up, we really need to put the 75 ELD match in the black line because it is the best option as far as ballistics, in my opinion. If you're trying to shoot half mile and in, which it's 22 cal, most people are. And so, we eventually won that battle. The 75 ELD match became the factory offering in the black line. And it is hard to beat. It's really a sweet spot between muzzle velocity and ballistic efficiency. So don't sleep on that one, you mentioned.
How long was Travis's barrel? Do you remember?
22 or 4?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, because 28.75, it can go faster than that.
It could. I don't think he was interested in really stepping on it.
Yeah. You always try to get me to step on it in my Bolt 223, but man, it just shoots so nice.
Yeah.
It shoots like this, there's no recoil to it whatsoever, but
right.
It's a great bullet. I also like the 75 grain Bowtail Hollow Point. If you're looking for just raw, pure accuracy, don't sleep on that one either.
Yeah. Yeah. That 75 really pounds in the wind. It's incredible.
Yeah. It's long.
Yep.
It's super long.
So I could shoot that, for shooting coyotes. I wouldn't shoot big game with it, but for coyotes. But I love the terminal performance of the 62s, and I love the flat trajectory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And plus, they loaded in ammo, and you can just get some.
Yeah, that's
They load both in ammo, but,
the speed is
hunting,
helpful.
The chances of you taking the long shot are not there.
I much prefer not to.
Right.
I will.
But a lot of times you like them in your lap, 200 and in, So
I like them 20 and in.
If you can.
Yeah,
right.
rare.
But 62 makes a lot of sense, just as far as even just like a max point blank range arena.
Which is what this is set up on.
Hornady Security Mobilus Safes. Discover the ultimate solution for safeguarding your valuable equipment with Hornady Security Mobilus Safes. Offering an innovative modular design, Mobilus Safes can be easily transported and assembled piece by piece in any room. Featuring a full square lock interior organizing system that maximizes storage space with countless storage configurations. Elevate your security with Mobilus Safes from Hornady Security.
So we got the 20-inch barrel. We get the little extra speed. We're shooting 62s. They're shooting great. At the end of it, the viewer, listener that has followed these rifle builds will have seen that suppressor before. Shocker, not a Thunder Beast Ultra 5.
Yeah. Which, I don't know, what is this thing?
That's got the Mac Bros Zenith K. And I'll tell you what, I've been blown away with that suppressor, especially on the 22 cal stuff. Now, you've seen this suppressor on my son's 25 Creedmoor build that I put together for him for his first deer.
It worked.
It worked great. And on a Creedmoor, shooting 40-some grains of powder, is that the most quiet can in the world? No, it's not. But it's certainly hyper short. Very light, didn't change the balance point of the gun when he's carrying it on his shoulder and stuff. Just for pure ergonomics, because I carry the guns more than I shoot them, as it turns out. Man, I really love this thing. And when you put it on a 22 cal, you're burning 30 grains of powder, 28 grains of powder. Man, it is awesome for recoil, awesome for sound suppression, especially on these little cartridges. That thing is only 4.3 inches long. And
That's
weighs
wild.
Just over 6 ounces. So if you're looking for an uber small, uber light suppressor that still gets the job done, you're not getting that, that ear ringing effect. Man, really, really happy with the Mac Bros Zenith K.
Maybe we ought to touch on this a little bit in case you didn't catch that. We're not necessarily looking for the quietest can in the world.
No,
it's actually not even in the top probably 3 of factors when I'm choosing a suppressor. I'm looking for raw accuracy, size, and length and weight.
Yeah. If
I want it to quiet it, yes,
but
it doesn't have to be the most uber quiet can in the world for me.
On a competition gun,
that'd be great.
The sound suppression is much higher, and the size is almost inconsequential.
Yeah.
So you can get a big can that's going to be really quiet. That's fine. But for this, where I'm carrying it a ton, and I just want it to be short and handy, and I'm only going to take
out of the truck
1 or 2 shots. I just need it to not ring my ears for 1 or 2 shots.
Exactly.
But this is actually plenty quiet, especially on the 22 ARC.
It is a little bit fatter. That's where the K comes in, right?
Well, and short. But they do ship it with a different end cap. So right now I have the flush end cap on there. So it's 4.3 inches long. They ship it with a little break. It adds about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch to the length of your can, but it's a radial break. So that's going to even lower the recoil that much more. So if you're shooting a bigger cartridge, because this is Magnum rated, you want to run that thing on your 6.5 PRC, it is Magnum rated.
But maybe throw that break in the end.
And it's still quiet, but it's not going to have as much recoil.
Yeah, 22 ARC, not concerned at all.
Not concerned at all. Love that can. Big fans of the Mac Bros team and of their products. They know what they're doing up there. And,
in South Dakota.
Well, they're not in the northern speaking area of South Dakota.
They're in South Dakota.
Yeah, they're in the most beautiful part of South Dakota.
That's a fact.
Yep. All right, so we've got barreled action. We've got suppressor. Let's talk stock.
Yeah, that's a handsome stock. My goodness.
We've got a lot of stock options here.
Sure.
We do, and we've got a lot of them. When this thing came out originally without the adjustment, like, oh, that's pretty cool. Now that it's adjustable, oh my gosh. So this is the Manners LRH.
Yep.
And what I really love about the LRH, a few things, but the integration of the Arca rail and the integration of the Picatinny rail.
Yep.
You're not adding anything. You're not bolting anything on. I've got a lot of stocks that I've had to do that, and it's easy. And we've got friends, Ken over at Salmon River Solutions. If you need to add a Picatinny or Arca rail or both and a flush cup,
simultaneously.
Yeah, all at the same time. He's got the product for you. Check Salmon River Solutions out. But this one, because it's integrated, it's just easy. You got the adjustable comb to get my feminine high cheekbones up there.
And that's not your standard adjustable comb. You know, a lot of times they'll come with that hardware that everybody's used
The
for
KMW
years,
loggerhead,
right?
for example.
This is different. This is their own thing. Way more lightweight.
Yeah, it's super lightweight, easy to adjust. So really like that. Obviously, the color's cool.
One thing that I like about this stock that I didn't know that I'd like so much is this little like finger groove.
Yep, relieved.
Yeah, like so if you're shooting offhand for whatever reason, or it's just comfortable.
Yeah.
And your fingers just go into it. It's a little thing that your brain probably doesn't even recognize that that's a big help, but your body does. You know?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, just one of those ergonomic features. And
Thumb shelf.
The grip angle with the thumb shelf. I mean, that's become a staple. And when you train and practice and compete, I don't do a whole lot of that anymore, but there was a time where that was our life. Shooting over the lunch hour, shooting after work, shooting on the weekends, competing every chance we could. And you get used to a certain grip angle and a certain thumb location. And these stocks now are putting that thumb shelf in there with that nice grip angle that we like. For me, this thing just is balanced. It fits. It's lightweight, and it keeps the weight manageable. You know, is it a lightweight rifle? No, but it could be if I change some configuration around. But it keeps it manageable. So it's lightweight.
And
tough.
It's got the mini chassis.
Does have a mini chassis. That's the other thing. You get into a really lightweight stock.
You're not going to have that.
Yeah, is it going to be
This
rigid?
stock with the mini chassis still lightweight.
Oh, incredibly.
But I do love the rigidity that mini chassis offers. It's like, my goodness. No, and then you don't have to put pillars in and do all that stuff. It's just ready to rock from the get-go.
Bolt your barreled action in there and go to shooting. Mm-hmm. But you're not going to bolt it in without a bottom metal.
Oh, I mean, you could, but it'd be weird.
It'd be weird.
It'd
and
be
so
a single shot. Kind of hard to feed.
We go, our friends over at Hawkins Precision, that's almost become a generic answer. There's a lot of stock manufacturers that, man, they recommend Hawkins over just about anybody. And this is the Hawkins bottom metal. It does have the barricade stop here rather than being
when you're
flush.
jamming it into the rock pile or something.
Yeah, and it's nice with a tripod. If you're looking around, kind of
I didn't even
things
think
out,
about
you
that.
slide it into the tripod, you're not going to slide it out of the Arca.
I feel like such an idiot, and I am. But that's really, really great because a lot of my stuff I use the flush,
I do too.
bottom metal on. But yeah, you're going to be in the same spot in the tripod every time with that.
Yep. So add some consistency. It's going to work. The craftsmanship's going to be great. And for a magazine, a lot of times I'll run those MDT 10 rounders, but that's a lot. That's a lot. Generally I don't need that much. So what I did was I took this magazine right here. Now this is an accurate mag that was made for Ruger. You can see their logo right there, for their scout rifle. I bought this on clearance at Cabela's for like $28.
That's a deal.
I saw
That's like a $60 magazine.
A metal AI mag back when they had the bargain barn. Snatched her up. When I was looking for a magazine for my hunting 22 arcs, I didn't need those 10 rounds. Primal Rights, jumped on his website. They make a BR spacer kit for the 5-round mag.
Just like you'd find in the 10 or the 12
Yeah,
rounders.
so this is just a 3D printed block and follower. Swapped it out, bent my feed lips a little bit, and now I've got 5 rounds on tap, just enough, and it's much lower, shorter, lighter, just less hassle, more ergonomics.
I did with the same thing with an MDT mag several years after you did. When I got mine, it was 3D printed black.
Yeah, I actually built this for my 6 arc, and then coincidentally ended up coming out with the 22. And
I will say yours was a much more easier installation because it is. I think these are made for accurate mags or AI mags.
Yep.
And the MDT did take a little bit of infinite axis milling with the old
you're a
Dremel
gunsmith.
there, but we made her happen. She feeds like butter.
Yep.
Big
Beautiful.
fan of that.
So I like these shorter mags. If this was a hunter bottom metal where it's flat, Hawkins does make a 3-round flush fit mag. But for coyotes, this has just been working.
Sometimes
perfectly.
you want more than 3 or 4.
That's true.
5 or 6 makes a lot more sense sometimes.
Yep.
especially with your shooting.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Up front on the bipod, this has quickly become my favorite bipod. We still use the Atlas, still use the Harris, still use the SkyPod from MDT, but this Gunworks bipod, man, they did a really good job with this one. Fast to deploy, really versatile from super low to really high. This thing does it all. It's lightweight. It's quick to come on and off. So I use those bipods on quite a bit.
Yeah, to speak to it a little bit, not that we really need to, because here's the deal. Everybody can like what they like,
That's right.
and I can be happy for them.
I'm
Or
an
you
expert in
cannot
my own opinion.
Care about what I think. But we were on a hunt. I had the Armageddon gear, rear bag in the sand hills, and then I had this bipod, right? We get laid down on just a little knoll just to try and see over. It was me and Ryan Damon, been on the podcast 100 times. He had the Atlas bipod, no leg extensions. He was pulling grass left and right, trying to get a clear shot. And me, I was just sitting there,
Lined up.
notched up the legs, and
Yep.
like, what are you doing? He's like, I can't see.
Yep.
Well, I certainly can.
Yep. Well, the Atlas is a great bipod.
It
and
is.
it's one of my go-tos. With the leg extensions, that helps. Where this really shines is if you lay them side by side, you get all the versatility of this bipod. The legs that splay open, really tight, the double extension. I mean, you get incredible versatility, and they weigh almost the same.
Mm-hmm.
They're both just under 12 ounces, but they weigh the same,
And you get way more
and you get way more versatility. So for me, it was kind of a no-brainer as far as hunting goes. I still prefer my Atlas for matches.
Oh, really? I've been
Yeah.
running the Harris.
Yep.
With the Arca rail.
I'm in a PRS match. I'm running an Atlas. I'm running NRL Hunter, MDT SkyPod.
Yeah.
Yep.
Single, double, or triple pull. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
Maybe have all of them
whatever your budget
if you want
allows.
to sell a car. But
Yep.
No, they're expensive, but they are absolutely phenomenal. Holy cow.
Yep. So then moving up from there in the world of this rifle, got the old Picatinny rail on there. Now sometimes I'll take that Picatinny rail, you're out, and go tally one piece right to the receiver. Really like doing that. That's something you and I have been doing since over a decade.
Yeah.
That's
It's becoming less common the
Yep.
more 34 millimeter and 35 millimeter scopes we get into.
Yep.
But if I have a 30 millimeter scope on a hunting rifle, chances are it's in tallies.
right. So my 7 PRC, if you remember, is wearing the same scope, and it's in a set of tallies. They do make them in 34. But for this, I went with these Seekins matched set rings, and I've had these forever.
I'm pretty sure they've been on my rifles before.
Yeah, these have
Those
been
exact rings.
bounced around. I bought those in like literally 2013. So outstanding set of rings. I already had them. And from an optic standpoint, I really do like these Leupold Mark IV 6-24s. And I think the biggest reason that I went with the 6-24 on this one is, did I need 6-24 of zoomies?
No.
Not at all. Do I want 4.5 to 18? You know, because they make a 4.5 to 18 model. Yeah, that makes a little more sense. Well, they're both 14.5 inches long, and they both weigh 27 ounces. So if they're physically the exact same size and weight, why wouldn't I just take the extra zoomies?
Yeah. I don't know. Unless that coyote's at 20 yards, it's a non-issue, right? You know, so
Then I'll pull the shotgun.
if you're running one,
Yeah.
it's not very often I'm taking a shotgun coyote hunting anymore, but there's a lot of guys that still like to
Yeah.
do it.
I'll shoot them from the hip at 20 yards. I'm just kidding.
Maybe you'll have to put a red dot on the side.
I could,
there
you
for
know,
the short.
cantilever
But yeah, I'm in total agreement when it comes to these Mark IVs. I'm a 6-24 guy.
Yep.
It's the same footprint and the same weight, and there's something about. And I'm not an optometrist or whatever that study of
eyes and
all that is.
prescriptions.
However, I've been told, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just fallacy from back in the day. Maybe it was lower, but typically the higher the magnification, if you don't use it, because a lot of times you just live at 12, 10,
8.
15,
Yeah.
whatever, the sweet spot of that optical clarity is kind of in the middle of its range.
Yeah.
So I've always thought that, and
Yeah.
I was like, well, if I was going to live on 10 to 12, why do I care if I can go from 4 to 6?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
Let
That's
us know
a
your
thought.
thoughts.
Yeah, let us know. But yeah, big fan of these Mark IVs. This has got the PR2 reticle. I shot a lot of years shooting just holdovers with like a Horus reticle.
That shows you how old he is, folks.
Yeah, and I still like having a nice Christmas tree reticles. This got the PR2. Love the turrets. 6-24 by 52. It just works really well. And I do think it might be a little much of, as far as scope goes for what this rifle is for. But I love it. I trust the turret.
There's no better time to stock your reloading bench and light up your range with Hornady Get Loaded Plus. New this year, free bullets or free cases when you buy these select Hornady reloading tools. Plus, receive the free hit target impact indicator. Hornady Get Loaded Plus. Free bullets, free cases, free hit target impact indicator. Get loaded and light it up with Hornady Get Loaded Plus. Limitations apply. Visit Hornady.com/getloaded2025 for further details.
Now, there's been a recent release of a product that when I think 22 arc, 6 arc field rifle, bolt gun or gas gun, that new Vortex Gen 3, 4.5 to 18 by 44, to me, it's like that's the right zoom ratio. That's the right length. I like the smaller objective. You can pull that thing down. To me, that new Gen 3 Razor, it's not uber heavy like the rest of their Razor line. It's really a nice field rifle scope. You could certainly use it for competition. I haven't got a chance to play with one yet. I haven't ordered one yet. I likely will, because I think it is kind of an ideal optic for gas gun or bolt gun for an arc family.
Yeah.
Like you want to shoot to 1,000 yards? Okay, yeah, that'll certainly do it. But again, out to 800, it's got all the zoomies I'd need, and I like the footprint.
Would you know the weight of it?
32 ounces, I believe.
A little bit heavier, but this is already a light field rifle to begin with.
Yeah. So you might see one of those optics on an upcoming build of mine, depending on what their shipping looks like. I don't know when they're going to be moving, but I am excited about that optic, and I do want to get my hands on one, and I can guarantee you it's going on an arc.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm a big fan.
And that pretty much sums up the rifle. The only thing I didn't talk about was this rear bag. We're Armageddon gear people. That just seems like, gosh, you need a bag, get an Armageddon gear.
Yeah, there are some wee bats flying around too.
Yeah, there are. Yep.
Fortune cookies, whatnot.
This one's a little bit more special than that. I've been using it here lately. I actually just got it just for shooting down in the tunnel, shooting at my house. Just, throw it up on the deck. Kids put the 22 over it kind of deal. A good buddy of mine, his son makes saddles and other leather goods, right? So he's good with the sewing machine, creative. I'm not going to throw the name out there because I'm not sure he wants the business. I'm not sure how big his saddle making operation is, but Chase made me this. Super lightweight. I'm not sure what he filled it with, but small, light, put a little carabiner on there, and I've been using that here lately. So Chase, thanks for making that thing. He's a 22 arc enthusiast as well.
Also, if you're out, hunting with it, backcountry in the sandhills or whatever, and nothing's happening and you're not ready to move yet, lay your head on it. Take a little siesta.
I've honestly, since I've started hunting with a rear bag, which is it's been a while since I haven't hunted with a rear bag, but I've used rear bags certainly more than shooting, right? I've used them to sit on when the ground's cold and I forget my butt pad, or if it's actively snowing or the ground's super wet, or I'm kneeling down for something. I use that bag for way more support than I do for actually shooting.
I'm a fan.
Yep.
I don't pack a pillow when we were backcountry hunting.
Really?
You got a rear bag, or you throw your puffy coat into the bag that the sleeping bag came in. You can make do.
Yep. Did not sleep well on that
This
trip.
got off topic, yeah.
Well, that was a great trip.
That was a great trip. Learned a lot.
We did. Well, I'm ready to go back. I'm ready to be hurt again.
I'm slightly frustrated still.
Well, maybe not back there. Well, we know the area now.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to go there.
Hey, you get your elk tag and I'll get a deer tag.
How about I'll just go with you, because I bought the tag last time and I'm still eating the soup.
Yeah, 8 tag soup, but man, we saw 2 slammer mule deer.
Yeah, and a good elk too.
Well, we
day
did see
before
a good elk.
opening day.
Yeah, I'm ready to be hurt again on a trip like that.
You're gonna have to wait 8-9 months.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
9-10.
long year waiting for hunting season.
Yeah, well, we need to go kill some coyotes.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough with the trade show season coming up, but hopefully, I want to say that there's some openings in January. Those will be screwed. February is obviously full of trade shows. Maybe March.
Maybe. I can guarantee I'm going in March. I already got one planned in March. But yeah, maybe between here and there we could find some time to sneak out.
Unfortunately, the place I have to hunt is 2 hours away. So
Yeah.
we
Well,
can make do.
we can make do. There's coyotes everywhere.
We used to get up at midnight, not even really sleep, maybe take an hour nap and go hunting, drive hours away to get there at sunrise. So
Oh, dude.
I'm not sure my body can handle it.
You
but
know
we
that
could do it.
that place we're talking about. If I had the days to recover, I would absolutely wake up that early, fly out there to spend 2 days coyote hunting. I would. I've seen more
we
coyotes.
saw a coyote.
Yeah,
On
I
our
mean,
last hunt.
it's a big chunk of public land out in the sandhills. Coyotes everywhere.
Yeah, tracks everywhere, poop everywhere.
Yeah, I would love to go out there
Also, we're getting pretty close to mating sounds.
right now.
Going to be really effective.
Yep. All right. Well,
Okay.
that devolved a little bit, but suffice it to say, this is what the rig is for. It's coyote hunting. We've got coyote hunts coming up. You know, old Big and Richie.
Do you happen to know the color off the top of your head
I
of this?
don't remember the
It's
color.
mostly green. Two kinds of green.
Yep.
It's on their website.
But big fan of the rifle, big fan of coyote hunting. Really excited to get it out there. And like you just mentioned, Preston, as we wrap this thing up, January SHOT Show every year, and that's an industry event. So yeah, if you're listening and you're in the industry, we'd love to talk to you guys. In the month of February, that's Consumer Show, and they are back to back to back to back. We only have to go to 3. We don't do the sheep show, but that's in there as well in Reno. But we've got Dallas Safari Club there in Atlanta, Georgia, that first week of February. We'll come back from that and go straight to Salt Lake City in Utah for the Western Hunt Expo. We'll come back from that and go straight to SCI in Nashville, Tennessee. So we'll be on the road for 3 straight weeks. But when we go to those shows, yes, it's a grind. But what makes those days more enjoyable is when we can interact with people that are excited about the product or listen to the show or have some constructive criticism about episodes or product ideas or, hey, I didn't do this, but I listened to your podcast and then I did this. Here's the elk I shot. Here's the deer I shot. Here's my kid's first animal or whatever it may be. Getting those interactions makes the days go by much faster, and we really enjoy them and look forward to them. And there's been a lot of podcast episodes that have stemmed from conversations at those trade shows. So if you're in those areas, Atlanta, Salt Lake City, or Nashville, we'd love to have you come out, support the organizations that are putting them on, and come to our booth, and we'll be there with bells on.
Yeah, and honestly, if you've never been to one of like the SCIs or the Western Hunt or the Dallas Safari Club, and you're just saying to yourself, well, I'll never be able to afford any of those hunts or anything like that, come anyway and check it out. The taxidermy is great. The little shops are great. And maybe some of those hunts are more affordable than you think they possibly ever could be.
Well, yeah, here's a sleeper. You get into some of those smaller events, like your local SCI chapters, your local DSC chapters. It is not uncommon. Well, last year at Atlanta, our friends over at, who was that? That was Charles Roberts, one of our sponsored shooters, and another sponsored shooter, Jeff. They bought a trip to Argentina to hunt stag, pennies on the dollar. Because, yeah, the clients there, that's not what they're interested in. So they got this trip, I want to say, for like $1,800.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it almost should have had another zero at the end of it. I
Sure.
mean, it was a very expensive trip. So, some of those really big, aspirational, and grandiose type hunts that might be a once-in-a-lifetime thing, like going to Africa, for example, some of those auctions, there's a lot of people been to Africa, and they're not bidding on those. Might be able to snatch up one of those trips for pennies on the dollar.
Or if you ever have had an aspirational hunt that you never thought, at least start meeting people.
Yeah.
Saying hello and seeing what they can do, and if they're the right people, should you ever, get the opportunity.
Yep, it's definitely fun, and there's a lot of fun going on. There's conferences. There are guest speakers.
We'll be giving
one at SCI.
a seminar at
Yep.
SCI and Dallas.
And we better
Yeah, we do need to get going.
Yeah.
on that.
So if you're at the Dallas Safari Club show or SCI, Preston and Seth will be given kind of an intro to long range, and it's not necessarily a super ballistically in-depth type of class. It's going to be more, hey, let's look at things backward. Let's look at what the end result you want is, and let's help you back into bullet selection and cartridge selection and, putting together a rifle and things like that will help you get to your end result.
Yep. And we will touch on ballistics a little bit, of course, because you kind of have to, but I think people like to overcomplicate it in their head, and they're really worried about the math when there isn't any math.
That's right. It doesn't have to be.
The calculator will just tell you if you tell it the right things.
Right. So with that, Preston, before we go on too long, this beautiful 22 ARC, need to put it to work. It's been a cool build. Big fan of all these components. And like I said, there are some builds ongoing that will be featured on the podcast that are going to have cartridges haven't been talked about yet on the show.
Let's do it.
Yep. Excellent. Well, thanks for jumping on the show. It is a busy time of year, so let's go get back at it. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to this episode all about this field rifle, the 22 ARC, built to be the ultimate bolt-action Coyote Rig out there. Good barrel life, low recoil, flat trajectory. We appreciate you listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.